From Amateur Radio Newsline Report, number 2142, these are the Ham Nation headlines for Wednesday, November 21st, 2018. Of all the California wildfires, the Camp Fire, burning in the northern part of the state, has become the deadliest in its history.
First reported on November 8th, the fire burned through the town of Paradise, once home to 27,000 people.
The wind was like the major factor in this fire. The first call, I think they said it was like 10 acres at 6:30 in the morning, and then by that night, it was like 11,000 acres.
KJ6 IYM is one of several volunteers from the Paradise Amateur Radio Society staffing ham stations at evacuation shelters.
We're working for the Red Cross. They've had issues where they've had a shelter up and running and everything was good. They had cell coverage, Wi-Fi, all that good stuff. And then a cell tower goes down, the power goes out, something like that, and then they're kind of stuck and they can't even call for help.
Boone said that almost 5 days into the fire, the repeaters in his area continued to function normally, and hams continued to monitor the situation. Hams, by the way, haven't been the only volunteers offering to help in the crisis.
When I was at the shelter, there was a line of people waiting to come in and volunteer. There was a line of people several hours trying to sign up to be able to just help. They just wanted to come down and do something to help out, and it was really heartwarming to see.
For Amateur Radio Newsline, I'm Kent Peterson, KC0DGY.
A recent dramatic rescue of a stricken man aboard a sailboat off Bermuda took radio teamwork, and the Maritime Mobile Service Network provided it.
On November 9th, the crew member of a sailing vessel 300 miles east of Bermuda went into distress with severe chest pains. Captain Nicholas Cancrow, KC2WRH, sent out a distress call on 14.300 megahertz, and an amateur radio operator heard it and alerted Donald Plunkett, VA6FH of Alberta, Canada. Donald is a member of the Maritime Mobile Service Network, and so is Fred Moore, W3ZU of Inverness, Florida, the second radio operator on the network to respond. He jumped in and directly contacted the captain aboard the boat, the Maria Elena, arranging for contact on 20 meters with a backup frequency on 40. Fred then provided a phone patch with the U.S. Coast Guard so medical personnel could talk those on board through some life-saving measures until help arrived. Fred stayed in touch with the boat throughout the night to keep tabs on the stricken crew member. At one point, even the U.S. Air Force responded at the request of the Coast Guard to see if they could help. The Coast Guard told the Maria Elena to head toward Cape Hatteras and sent the Coast Guard cutter Spencer in the same direction. The next day, the cutter and the sailboat rendezvoused, and the patient was taken on board the cutter and then hoisted onto a helicopter and flown to a Norfolk, Virginia hospital. Coast Guard Petty Officer First Class Travis Unzer praised the teamwork as nothing short of crucial. For Amateur Radio Newsline, I'm Mike Askins, KE5CXP.
The hunt for hidden transmitters has an appeal all its own, and now hams who enjoy the hunt can share ways to make the experience better.
If you're enthusiastic about amateur radio direction finding, here's a survey you might be interested in taking. Kenneth Harker, WM5R, the new ARDF coordinator for the IARU's Region 2, is asking for feedback from the international ham community. The survey is seeking input about ARDF events and other activities related to direction finding. Ken told Newsline that he hopes the questions will be something annually to help him track activity over time and to get important feedback on such issues as competitions and rules, especially with regard to coordinating with other regions of the IARU. The survey will be available through the end of November and takes about 30 minutes to complete. Find the link to the survey in the printed version of this week's Newsline script and make your voice heard. For Amateur Radio Newsline, I'm Dave Parks, WB8ODF.
And that's all from the Amateur Radio Newsline, your independent source for amateur radio news for 4 decades and counting at arnewsline.org. With Kent Peterson, KC0DGY, Mike Askins, KE5CXP, Dave Parks, WB8ODF, Karen Eve Murray, KD2GUT at the news desk in New York, and our news team across the globe. I'm Don Wellbanks, AE5DW. 7-3. We'll see you next time here on Ham Nation.